Time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the San Diego Padres. Hi, everybody, and a very happy and pleasant Sunday to you, wherever you may be. Welcome to the final game of the three-game series between the Dodgers and the San Diego Padres. Dodgers winning 2 in a row by the identical score of 1-0, and as you probably know, they now have 3 shutouts since they ended up their series with the Mets, beating New York 6-0. For the Padres, the last we checked, they've scored 1 run in the last 35 innings, and we'll see about today. Tim Stauffer, with a record of 5-5, will be on the mound for San Diego, and the Dodgers will counter with left-hander Ted Lilly. He's 5-9. Couple of streaks will be on the line. The Padres have lost 4 in a row. The Dodgers have won 3 in a row. And the two teams are locked in, tied for 4th, 11 games back of the Giants. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have it all coming up for you right after this.
This series finale between the Dodgers and the Padres, the last game before the All-Star break. If you look back on the first half of the season, you see the Dodgers record of 40-51. Actually had a worse record at the All-Star break only twice since, 79 and 1967. Run's been an issue. ERA pretty good, though. However, good news. They've won the last 3 games, Steve. They've all been shutouts.
Yeah, you know, they dug themselves a big hole here. There's no question when you're 11 games back. But at the same time, there's a lot of good things to point to. This team does swing the bat pretty well. They just have to do it when there's guys on base. That's where they've really struggled. I think their pitching rotation is actually going to get better. I think Ruby De La Rosa is going to solidify his spot in that rotation. He keeps getting better and better. And if Kershaw and Billingsley keep throwing the way they have, this team has a chance to edge their way back. They have to play basically one game better than everyone else every week That's not that tough to do.
So if they win today, to be 4 games in a row going into the All-Star break, can you ride that momentum of a 4-game winning streak through the All-Star break and pick it up in the second half?
No, I don't think you can. I mean, there's too many days in between, but at least you feel better about yourself on Friday when you go into that start rather than saying, hey, now we're 14 games back. We look like crap going into the break. Who really cares anymore? I think there's a renewed energy on this team, and that'll carry through.
See if that energy continues today. Ted Lilly on the mound for the Dodgers. First pitch with Ben Scully next here at Dodger Stadium.
Hyundai. People are talking about Hyundai Uncensored. See what they're saying at mysocalhyundai.com. By Shakey. Win a pizza party for 10. Go to shakey's.com. By CarMax. Now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. And by AT&T. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Sunday to you, wherever you may be. We're at Dodger Stadium, the final game of the 3-game series with the Padres, final game of the homestand, and just before the All-Star break, the Dodgers will pick up the action again on July the 15th, Friday in Arizona. For the Dodgers, they've won 3 in a row, and for the Padres, they've lost 4 in a row. We've already saluted the Dodger All-Stars bound for Arizona. So Matt Kemp, along with Andre Ethier and Clayton Kershaw, being saluted and given All-Star jerseys before the game. For Bud Black, well, here's his lineup for today. They have been shut out now in 3 straight games. They've scored 1 run in 35 innings. Chris DeNorfia will be in right field. Alberto Gonzalez, the shortstop. Jason Bartlett came up with a bad thumb, so Gonzalez plays short. Chase Headley is at third base. Ryan Ludwig in left. Cameron Maben in center. Orlando Hudson at second. Anthony Rizzo at first base. Rob Johnson behind the plate. And Tim Stauffer on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers with a very tough act to follow is Ted Lilly. I mean, after all, the last 3 Dodger pitchers, along with bullpen help, have turned in shutouts. Ted comes in with a record of 5-9. He's also trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. He has done well in the past against the Padres. He is 7-3, and he is 1-0 against them this year. He limited an ERA of 2.6 in 2 starts against the Padres with a victory. So for Ted Lilly, an all-star in his own right back in 04 with Toronto and 09 with the Cubs, and getting ready. Another nice touch before the start of the game, besides the all-stars getting their jerseys. There aren't very many of you who would remember, but the opening day lineup in the Coliseum for the Los Angeles Dodgers in 1958 was a terrific fella and a very good hitter named Dick Gray. Well, Dick Gray, celebrating his 80th birthday, was here to sing out "It's Time for Dodger Baseball" along with, I believe, his grandson. So we've already had a nice start. We'll see about the finish. The Dodgers on a roll, and with the usual lineup, no dramatic changes. The catcher is Guiona Navarro as Ted Lilly prepares, and the Dodgers on the railing, hoping to conclude the first half of the season. We say first half. They played 91 games, but they're hoping to conclude on a high note and go into the break with a 4-game winning streak. Ready to lead it off, Chris Denorfia. And for the Padres, they've had nothing but problems. They have not scored a run in the last 20 innings. As we said, 1 run in the last 35. Over those 35 innings, it's hard to believe they've only had 11 hits. And runners in scoring position, they are 0 for 20. First pitch to Denorfia outside, ball 1. 1-0 to Chris, hitting .284. 5 home runs, 15 runs batted in. The 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's taken low, ball 2. On a beautiful Sunday, the temperature 80 degrees. So 2-0 to Chris Denorfia, trying to shake up the Padre offense. Lilly back with a pitch in there, and the count 2-1. The Padres have been shut out 1-0 5 times this year. They have been shut out 15 times before the All-Star break, but that's not the worst Padre record, as the pitch to Denorfia is outside. Back in 1969, their first year, the Padres were shut out 18 times before the All-Star break. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Denorfia, swung on, hit in the air to right field. Ethier starts in, then moves to his left and makes the catch, 1 away. The only thing really going for the Padres, when you look at all the blanks they've drawn, they play pretty well in the daytime. They are 20-13 in the daylight. So with their 4-game losing streak, they've lost 6 out of 9 on their current road trip. And here's Alberto Gonzalez, the shortstop, and he takes a strike, and the count 0-1. So Gonzalez subbing for Jason Bartlett, the regular, who couldn't play with a bad thumb. Alberto takes off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. One thing that Gonzalez has done, he's 11 for 29 with 2 out and runners in scoring position. He takes high, ball 2, although over the year hitting only .214. Right-hand batter waiting. Switch hitter Headley on deck. Ted Lilly into the windup, delivers, fastball foul back. In looking at Ted Lilly's work against the Padres, Headley on deck is hitting .313 against him, and the center fielder Cameron Maben is hitting .556 against him. 1 out, first inning, no score, and Lilly ready, delivers just off the outside corner, and he runs 3-2. He went 3-1 to Denorfia. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Alberto Gonzalez. Lilly ready. Here he comes on a high fly ball to left field. Gwynn and Kemp. It's Gwynn's play, and Tony makes the catch. By the way, there is a lot of pressure up in the press box because part of the telecast going back to San Diego with Dick Enberg and Mark Grant is Tony Gwynn Sr. And it's going to be something. Tony sitting there very comfortably but sweating out his son's play, you can bet all day long. So with 2 out, Chase Headley at the plate, and the first pitch to Chase, a strike. Headley, a switch hitter, batting right-handed. hitting .364 against left-hand pitching. Chase with 2 home runs, 31 runs batted in, and he takes an off-speed pitch for a strike. So for the first time, Ted Lilly gets out in front. He was 3-1, he was 3-2, now 0-2 on Headley. No score, just starting. The strike 2 pitch on the way, and it is swung on and missed, and that takes care of Headley and the Padres. Down they go, 1-2-3 at the end of half an inning. Padres nothing, Dodgers coming up. .14 pitches, and now we'll take a look at the Dodger lineup trying to put up some runs. Tony Gwynn in left field, Rafael Furcal at short, Andre Ethier in right, Matt Kemp in cleanup spot in center. Then you have James Loney, followed by Juan Uribe, Diana Navarro, Aaron Miles at second, and Ted Lilly on the mound. On the mound for San Diego, a red-hot pitcher by the name of Tim Stauffer. Stauffer comes in, first of all, in his last 6 starts, his earned run average is 1.2. And with a club that doesn't score at all, he is 4-1 over that stretch, and he's won 3 in a row. And look at that, he has a break-even record, 5-5, with an earned run average of 2.9. Amazing. Tony Gwynn fouls off the first pitch, and the count 0-1. So Tim Stauffer has a lot of pressure, knowing that he is a ball club that doesn't score very much. And we're in the bottom of the first inning. Gwynn, Furcal, and Ethier. Tim looks down, gets a sign, turns on the rubber and delivers, and the strike 1 pitch off the plate. Couple of things as Tony Gwynn hitting .254 with 12 runs batted in. Stauffer into the windup, back he comes 1-1, and that's high, ball 2. He is a ground ball pitcher. He gets only almost 2 ground balls for every fly ball, and that's another reason why he has had the opposition hit into a dozen double plays. Ground ball just foul outside of third down the line. So Tony will come back and try it again. A couple of other things about Stauffer. He's picked off 2 runners this year. And the other thing, it's not that he's overpowering, but as far as called third strikes are concerned, his strikeouts, he gets that about 40% of the time. So a ground ball pitcher who fools hitters and has just been playing sensational ball. Tim ready. And his 2-2 pitch to Tony Gwynn. Little chopper charging Headley. Almost a collision and no play. As Headley and Gonzalez converge on the little ground ball. Whether Headley was distracted or just didn't have a grip, he couldn't make a play. So Tony Gwynn is safely aboard on what will be a base hit. Headley just could not make it. And of course Tony Gwynn hitting left-handed flying down the line. So Stauffer gives up a hard luck single, and Rafael Furcal coming up. Now, one of the problems for Stauffer, we've mentioned he has picked off 2 runners. Tony Gwynn over there has stolen 11 out of 14, goes on the first pitch, which gets away behind the plate by Johnson. And we'll check and see whether that touched the bat at all. And apparently not. So it's a stolen base. Gwynn was going, and it just got away at home plate. So for the Padres, who are doing everything wrong right now, they start off on a wobbly note. So Gwynn at second, 0-1 the count. Rafael Furcal shows bunt, takes low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. So for Tony Gwynn, he has now stolen 12 out of 15. The Dodgers have stolen 70 and been caught 17. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Furcal bunts in the air, lands at the feet of Headley, who throws to first for the out. Gwynn advancing to third on the sacrifice. So Furcal does his job, moves his man along. Well, Rafael, his first sacrifice of the year. And now Andre Ethier coming up. Let's take a look at Tim Stauffer and Ethier. Ethier hitting .286 against him, 4 for 14. Though Andre with a chance to pick up a run, the infield goes back. Awfully early to play it up. Second baseman Orlando Hudson out on the grass in shallow right field, and the first pitch fouled away, 0-1. Ethier fighting it, and right now fighting the pain of that foul ball. Andre hitting .308, 7 home runs, 42 runs batted in. So Ethier not quite ready for the moment. Matt Kemp tuning up on deck. Stauffer still waiting. Ethier not quite ready. Tony Gwynn at third, 1 out, first inning, no score. Now Stauffer, very deliberate, plants the right foot on the rubber. Ethier checks in at the plate. Here we go. Strike 1 pitch is taken a little low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tim Stauffer is out of Maine. At least he was born up there. He lives in Saratoga Springs in New York. Went to school at the University of Richmond. He has been very, very tough with runners in scoring position as Ethier takes off the plate. Ball 2. The opposition hitting against Stauffer with runners in scoring position. They're batting .191. 2-1 the count. Ethier waiting. Here comes Stauffer. Fastball on the outside corner, and the count 2-2. Stauffer's the fella who had stomach pains while in the hotel, went on the internet, realized that he had an appendectomy, went to the hospital and had it done. 2-2 pitch. Ethier a comebacker. Holding at third is Gwynn, the out at first. So Stauffer continues to be one tough guy with runners in scoring position. 2 out. Gwynn holding at third. Stauffer 6'1", 210. Just turned 29. Been in the big leagues for a couple of years, spending a lot of time in the minors. Last year for San Diego, he won 6. And here's Matt Kemp. 2 out, first inning, no score. Gwynn at third. Stauffer at the belt. He has Loney on deck, and the first pitch a little low, ball 1, 1-0. As far as shutouts are concerned, Dodgers have 3 in a row, trying, of course, for number 4. The 1-0 pitch on the way to Kemp in the dirt, squirts away, goes to the backstop. Here comes Gwynn. Throw to Stauffer. He is out at the plate. So runs are really tough to come by. When the pitch gets away from Johnson, And with Stauffer alertly covering the plate, Johnson got the ball back to Stauffer, who tagged out Gwynn with plenty to spare. At the end of an inning, no score. A put out. So we go to the second, no score, with Ludwig, Maben, and Hudson coming up in that order. So Ted Lilly into the windup, ready to make his pitch, and it is fouled away 0-1. You know, if you're wondering about the Dodgers trying for a fourth consecutive shutout, they actually had that stretch in September of 1966. Sandy Koufax got the third of 4 shutouts in a row. The strike one pitch is low, and then of course that team went into the World Series and was shut out by Baltimore. And that reminds me, the last team to have 5 straight shutouts, the Baltimore Orioles of 1995. The pitch is low, and the count now 2-1 to Ryan Ludwig. So Ted Lilly trying to keep it going, and the Dodgers getting a potential run snuffed out at the plate. 2-1 the count to Ryan Ludwig. Here comes Lilly, and he's high, ball 3. The baseball world celebrating Derek Jeter's 5 hits yesterday to get over the 3,000 hit mark. Derek had one more hit today. The 3-1 pitch, and that's hit in the air into right center field. Kemp is the captain out there and makes the catch. So 1 out, second inning, and the batter Cameron Maben. Not only is the contrast left-hander and right-hander, it's ground ball and fly ball. Don't forget Sunday, July 24th, Dodger Cap Day. The Nationals are here at 1:10. All fans receive a blue and white Dodger cap, compliments of Amtrak. Visit Dodger.com/promotions or give us a call, 866-DODGERS. Cameron Maben at the plate. He's the one guy who has hit Lilly hard in the past. Ted ready, fastball fouled away, 0-1. Cameron Maben is 5 for 9 against Lilly. That would be a .556 batting average. No balls and 1 strike to Cameron Maben. Lilly into his windup. The strike 1 pitch on the way. Fastball inside. We mentioned Derek Jeter a moment ago. The fact he got yet another hit, 3,004. In Jeter's career of just about 2,400 games, imagine he's played 1 inning in which the Yankees had already been mathematically eliminated. Maben fouls it off. DiMaggio and Jeter both played in and won 4 World Series in their first 5 years. Both had a record of 16-3 in those 4 series, and DiMaggio would win a 5th series in his 6th season. And as everyone has said about Derek Jeter, he is the prototype. He is the model of the ideal Yankee player. Maben takes high, and the count runs to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 away, second inning, no score. Bring it up to date. Padres have not scored in the last 21. They have 1 run in the last 36. 11 hits in the last 36 innings, and a ground ball wide at third. Uribe is up with it, and that will take care of Maben. Cameron really hustling down the line to make it a close play. 2 out, and Orlando Hudson coming up. Dodgers and Padres playing 1-0 games. I remember very well a left-hander with San Diego years ago named Dave Roberts, and he hooked up with Dodger left-hander Al Downing. That was July 3rd, well, 40 years ago, 1971. They played in San Diego. The only run, the Dodgers scored it in the 9th inning. The game lasted an hour and 40 minutes. Each pitcher turned in a complete Game 6 hitter. So it's happened. Fastball is a little low. Ball 1 to Orlando Hudson, batting .225. 1 home run, 14 runs batted in. The O-Dog. Lilly into the windup. Left-hander comes back 1-0, and the fastball is high, ball 2. Talking about that quick game in San Diego, talking to Mark Grant of the Padres, and he said he will never forget a game. Randy Jones, the left-hander pitching for San Diego, and Jim Cott, the big left-hander pitching. Ground ball up the middle, and so Orlando Hudson, a 2-out single to center. There was some big show, musical, whatever, in San Diego that night. And the game at Padre Stadium started 7 o'clock. The show started at 9. And Mark said both Jim Cott and Randy Jones had tickets for the show, and they were each in their seats at 9:05. That's a quick game. So with 2 out and a runner at first, here's Anthony Rizzo hitting .159, 1 home run, 6 runs batted in. Lilly ready and deals and handcuffs him with a good fastball in on the hands. 0-1. For Lilly, a good fastball right around 89 to 90. Rizzo, big left-hand batter with a lot of shoes to fill. Anyone playing first base for San Diego after the great Adrian Gonzalez, tough act. Here's the strike 1 pitch on the way, and Rizzo goes the other way, hits it inside out, and just foul down the left field line. So Rizzo comes back. Orlando Hudson goes back to first, and we're scoreless in the top of the 2nd inning. Just foul, maybe by inches. I mean, it almost hit the chalk. It was that close. So the Dodgers get a good break, and Rizzo comes back. No balls and 2 strikes. Lilly looks in, getting a sign. No score in the ball game. We're only in the top of the 2nd inning. Rizzo waits, and Lilly goes to first. Of course, anyone who's been following the Dodgers, and particularly Ted Lilly, knows that the league runs on him, and very successfully. 82% of success rate in stealing against Ted Lilly. So we'll see about Orlando Hudson. Lilly out of his stretch, a look over at the O-Dog, and the strike 2 pitch to Rizzo. Ted ready and delivers, slow curveball, and he misses ball 1. For Orlando Hudson, he has stolen 13 out of 14. So you have a matchup here, a very successful base stealer against a pitcher who is vulnerable to the stolen base. No score, 2nd inning, 2 out, 1-2 the count to Rizzo. Here comes Lilly, and he works it off the plate, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. as he was pitching to Rizzo, Hudson was leaning back towards first base. Dave Roberts over to whisper something from his experience, and Orlando takes the lead again. 2-2 to Rizzo, left-hand hitter with an open stance. Here comes Lilly, and the fastball on the outside corner at the knee. Rizzo is caught looking. Strikeout number 2 for Ted Lilly, and for the Padres, it continues. No runs in 22 innings. The Dodgers and the Padres, final meeting of the series. It's also the halfway point. It's the 9th game between the two teams. For the Dodgers, Matt Kemp, who was left at the plate on the pitch that got away that resulted in Tony Gwynn being snuffed out at home plate. So Kemp, Loney, and Uribe against Tim Stauffer. We mentioned earlier about Stauffer being a tough luck pitcher, the right-hander ready and deals, and he's off the plate, ball 1. Imagine having an earned run average of 2.9 and lucky to be breaking even at 5-5. But there have been some other Padre pitchers who have gone through that. Meanwhile, Kemp a ground ball. Hudson is in front of it, and we have one away. One out, and James Loney coming up. We mentioned, remember that quick game with Dave Roberts and Al Downing? Dave Roberts one year had an earned run average of 2.1, and he finished 3 games under 500. That's about as tough as it gets. Remember Jake Peavy? In 2008, Peavy's earned run average was 2.8. He finished up 10-11. The pitch to Loney, a strike. And then, of course, the aforementioned Randy Jones, going all the way back to 1978. He had an earned run average of 2.8, and he was 1 game under 500. So for Tim Stauffer, he is joining an illustrious trio, Messrs. Roberts, Peavy, and Jones. Meanwhile, James Loney with a 1-ball, 1-strike count, hitting .271. Stauffer comes back, fastball foul back, and the count 1-2. Stauffer's equipment, well, he has a good two-seam fastball. That's why he gets a lot of ground balls. That's why he gets a lot of double plays. He has a power curve. He's come up with a cutter like most pitchers. He has 2 change-ups in a sense. Ground ball to Hudson. Orlando takes it on a couple of hops. So 2 down in the 2nd inning, and obviously Stauffer is on his game, getting ground ball. The other pitch that Tim Stauffer has is a knuckle curve that he mixes up with his change. So Tim Stauffer, very much an accomplished pitcher, despite the fact he's 5-5. Don't let that fool you. Juan Uribe, who hit the dreaded no-ball 2-strike pitch yesterday and doubled over the head of Chris Denorfia and then scored the run on the base hit by Diona Navarro. Uribe hitting .208, takes outside, ball 1. Stauffer comes back to the third baseman, and that one's in there. 1-1 to count. Another thing about Stauffer, 89 strikeouts, 26 walks. So he can now make it 91 strikeouts and 26 walks. And he's 2-1 to Juan Uribe. Bottom of the second, no score in the ball game. 2-1 pitch to Uribe, a big swing and a miss, and the count 2-2. Uribe back up and waiting. Stauffer into the windup, and the 2-2 pitch, breaking ball, check swing, and obviously he got away with it inside, ball 3. 3-2 the count. On deck, Diona Navarro. And Stauffer into the windup. Tim delivers, fastball low, and Uribe has one. So the Dodgers get a base runner, their second. They had Gwynn get an infield single, steal a base, and eventually wind up out at the plate. Diona Navarro got that flare single into right center field to give the Dodgers the victory by scoring Uribe yesterday. Navarro hitting .179. You don't figure a combination of Uribe and Navarro would beat you. Now with Uribe hitting .209 and Navarro .179, but the unlikely duo did it. And the fastball off the plate, ball 1. Somebody hollers out of the San Diego dugout, and Corey Blazer looked over there. Corey, the plate umpire. Time at the plate for the moment. Aaron Miles on deck. Again, Orlando out on the grass. The pitch coming up is high and away, so suddenly Stauffer, with 2 out, went all the way and walked Uribe and comes back 2-0 to Diona Navarro. Stauffer looking down to get a sign. Uribe off the bag at first. Navarro, it's a high fly ball into deep right center field. On the dead run at the track, it's going to bounce up and over. And for Uribe, he will have to stop at third on the ground rule double by Navarro. So it hit the warning track and really kangarooed up and over the wall. So Navarro and Uribe again combined to give the Padres a bad time, not to score, but to put runners at second and third. One other thing, that was the first ball hit in the air by a Dodger. So Stauffer's sinker, whatever, was not working. And now first base open, and they will take the bat out of Aaron Miles' hands. Walk him intentionally. And in a moment, it'll be Ted Lilly. Ted Lilly has had 29 at-bats. He's also had 2 sacrifices, though he's had a total of 31 plate appearances. He doesn't hit, he has 2 hits, but he also makes contact. He has 7 strikeouts in 31 appearances, and for a pitcher, that's pretty good. So bases loaded, 2 outs, second inning, no score, and the Dodgers look to Lilly to get on the scoreboard. Dodgers with 2 out after Kemp and Loney each grounded out to Orlando Hudson. Then Uribe walked on a 3-2 pitch. Navarro hit a 2-0 pitch for the double, only it bounced over the wall. That stopped Uribe. So they walk Miles to load him up. Stauffer working on Lilly. Ted's a left-handed batter as he pitches. Stauffer on and off the rubber. He's not quite sure. Now toes the rubber, looks in, turns into his windup. And the first pitch to Lilly is low, ball one. Usually you see a pitcher struggling with his control, and he'd pitch out of a stretch with the bases loaded, especially against a pitcher, where you figure even if you lose a little something out of the stretch as compared to the windup, you still have the pitcher up there. The 1-0 pitch, and that's low. Now that's a little surprising that he is pitching from the windup. A fine pitcher in his own right, Bud Black, in the dugout, trying to figure things out. It's time for the manager to scratch his head. He went 3-2 in Milwaukee Uribe, went 2-0 and gave up the double, and this time gets a strike, and the count 2-1. So Stauffer went 3-2 to Milwaukee Uribe, 2-0 to give up the double, and he is 2-1 now to Ted Lilly. Right-hander into the windup, no score in the game. Fastball, little nubber, barehanded by Stauffer, who throws to first for the out. Almost threw it away, and Anthony Rizzo able to make the catch. So for the Dodgers, no runs, 1 hit, they leave 3, and at the end of 2, no score.
Brought to you by Jack in the Box. For a limited time, Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo is back for only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. And by your Southern California Ford dealers. Visit us today and trade up to Ford.
Third inning, no score in the ball game. The Dodgers and the Padres. Beautiful summer's afternoon. 80 degrees when the game started. And it'll be Rob Johnson, the catcher, Tim Stauffer, the pitcher, and then right fielder Chris DeNorfia. For San Diego, they're really accustomed to playing tough games. 61% of their games have been decided by 1 or 2 runs. That's a lot. Over that stretch, they're 4 games under 500. Johnson batting 176. Promptly it's a high fly ball to deep left. Back goes Gwynn to the track at the wall. It is gone. Up jumps the Devil. That's the 19th home run that Ted Lilly has given up. And it's the Padres to get on the boards with the home run. So it is over. They finally get a run. First run in 21 plus. Second run in the last 36 innings. And it's Rob Johnson who hits the home run. The ball thrown back out on the field. So Lilly has given up 19. Bronson Arroyo leads. He's given up 25. And Brent Myers has given up 23. And Lilly now gives up 1. The pitch in for a strike to Stauffer, and the count no balls and 1 strike.
So Rob Johnson, sitting on his laurels, hits his 3rd home run of the year, the 8th in his career. And a line drive grabbed by Uribe. Whoa. Stauffer hit a blur, and somehow Uribe was able to handle it. That thing got to the glove in a hurry. For Ted Lilly, he has been victimized early in the count. And, of course, Johnson didn't waste any time to hit the home run. And then Stauffer walked up and hit the first pitch, almost for a double. So here's DeNorfia. He flied to right field in the 1st inning. Lilly pitched very carefully to him and went 3-1. Ted delivers, and it's low, ball 1, 1-0. DeNorfia hitting .283, 5 home runs, 15 runs batted in, hits 1 foul off first, well back out of play, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. DeNorfia played left field yesterday when Uribe hit one over his head. The Chris waiting, the 1-1 pitch way off the plate, 2-1 the count. DeNorfia went to Choate in Connecticut. That's a prep school. Among the many who have attended there, President John F. Kennedy graduated. 2-1 pitch, ground ball up the middle, and it's a base hit. So DeNorfia single up the middle. 1-0 in favor of the Padres, their 3rd hit. And Alberto Gonzalez, who flied to left in the 1st inning, coming up. DeNorfia has stolen 7 out of 12. And we'll see now about Alberto Gonzalez. He went 3-2 before flying to left field in the 1st inning. Lilly ready, left-hander deals off the plate, ball 1, 1-0. That was a great moment in Yankee Stadium, wasn't it, yesterday? If you love baseball, you had to love the moment. Derek Jeter getting his 3,000th hit as a home run. Here's the 1-0 pitch instead of throw to first. You may or may not know there are 28 men in the history of the game to have collected 3,000 hits. The only other one to reach number 3,000 with a home run was Wade Boggs of the Red Sox. 1-0 the count. Lilly set, looks at first, very deliberate, throws over there, and DeNorfia diving back. The top of the list, of course, Pete Rose, 4,256. Roberto Clemente, the late Roberto, had exactly 3,000 hits. The 1-0 pitch on the way is poke foul off to the right. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 players who certainly are contending for 3,000 hits yet to be heard from. Ivan Rodriguez and Omar Vizquel. Somehow, some way. 1-1 the count. 1 out, 3rd inning, 1-0 San Diego. Lilly out of a stretch, looks at DeNorfia and decides to go over there again. 1-1 the count to Gonzalez. A late scratch was Jason Bartlett, though Gonzalez in there in his stead. Alberto from Maracaibo in Venezuela. The 1-1 pitch is taken a little high, ball 2. Gonzalez is 5'11", about 165, no power. He has 1 home run this year. In 2009, he had 1 home run for the Nationals, and the year before, 1 home run. He was involved in a big deal. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Gonzalez, swung on and missed. 4 years ago, the Yankees had Randy Johnson and $2 million to the Diamondbacks. Among others, they got Gonzalez and then Luis Vizcaíno, Russ Oldendorf, and Steven Jackson. Gonzalez, 28 years old. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Out of a stretch goes Lilly. There goes DeNorfia, and the pitch is lifted foul off first down the line and back into the stand. So Alberto Gonzalez going 2-2. Back to first is DeNorfia. Last year, Gonzalez hit .254 against left-handers. In 2009, he destroyed left-handers. He had .397. So we'll see. 2-2 the count with Chase Headley on deck. 1-0 in favor of the Padres. Home run by Rob Johnson. Lilly from a stretch. Very deliberate. Comes back to the plate. Bad ball. Chased and missed. So Gonzalez going after a pitch high and away and strikes out. So he had not much of a chance of getting that ball. So poor hitting for Gonzalez to become strikeout number 3 for Ted Lilly. And the batter is Chase Headley. Headley struck out in the first inning, but he's hitting better than .360 against left-hand pitching. There goes DeNorfia. Got a huge jump. There was no way to throw. Oh, what a jump on a left-hand pitcher. Well, for Ted Lilly, he is exploited once more by the stolen base. We told you the league runs at will against Ted Lilly. So Headley now trying to pick somebody up. The Padres naturally being shut out. They haven't had any chances really to drive in many runs anyway. And going to third is DeNorfia, and would have stolen that. They'll have to send him back. So DeNorfia steals second, had another huge jump. It's as if Lilly said, I'm not even going to think of you. I'll lift my leg. I'll take my time. And there would have been no chance to get him. Wow. 1-1 the count. Now remember, we're talking about a 35-year-old fellow who's been in the big league since 1999. Ted out of a stretch. Another look. Just staring at DeNorfia. Now the pitch to the plate, and Headley takes off speed for a strike. That was only 73 miles an hour. And the count 1-2. Headley went down on 3 pitches in the first inning. 1-2 to Chase. Switch hitter batting right-handed. Then you have Ryan Ludwig on deck. Padres 0 for 20 with runners in scoring position during the streak. 0 for 20. But Bud Black, almost Bud Gray, the way they've been playing. Now the 1-2 pitch coming up. Lilly ready and deals, and it's taken inside. Fastball under the elbows. 2-2 the count. Headley means a great deal to a relatively young Padre squad. Chase out of Fountain, Colorado. He was originally a second-round pick by the Padres out of the University of Tennessee back in 2005. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Lilly delivers high. Ball 3. 3-2. So we have 2 out, a run in. DeNorfia at second base, and waiting on deck Ryan Ludwig, another right-hand batter. Headley waits. Lilly ready, and the pitch of the plate way outside. Navarro had to come up out of a crouch to backhand it. So on a 3-2 pitch, ball 4. And runners at first and second. Now it could be that Lilly, first of all, knows that Headley is hitting better than .360 against left-handers, was hitting .313 against him. Maybe he'd just as soon face Ludwig, who is hitting just .135 against him, and fly to center in the second inning. The only thing with Ludwig, he can get you rich in a hurry. He has some sock. 11 home runs. 55 runs batted in, and Lilly is looking at him as an escape hatch. 2 on, 2 out, 1-0 Padres in the third. Lilly a full turn and then a fake to second. Denorfia taking liberties with him. Not only did he steal second without a throw, he would have stolen third without a throw. So it's up somehow to Aaron Miles to try and cover Denorfia at second. So Ludwig open stance waiting at the plate, and again Lilly concerned now, having been burned, trying to keep the runner at second base, or at least certainly in the neighborhood. And Denorfia trying to take as big a lead as possible and maybe even open up a hole on the right side because of Miles. The pitch to Ludwig in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Ludwig the other night had one of those nightmare games. With a runner at third in the first inning, he struck out. With a runner at second and nobody out, he popped up. With 2 on, he had a pop fly to right field. So a guy who's supposed to generate some power and hitting fourth in the lineup is hungry to do just that. With 55 runs batted in, he's projected to have 100 RBIs. Lilly's slow curve, ground ball to short. They're going to get the force. So Ludwig leaves 2 more. He has had a poor series indeed. For the Dodgers, they give up a run on the home run. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 left. And at the end, a 2.5, 1-0 Pods. Finally get a run and lead 1-0. Now in the bottom of the third, Tony Gwynn, followed by Rafael Furcal and Andre Ethier. Tony takes off the plate, ball 1. Gwynn hit a little ground ball. It was almost a collision between Chase Headley and Alberto Gonzalez, the shortstop. By the time Headley came up with the ball, Gwynn had the plate beaten. He takes a strike and the count 1-1. Tony then stole second, was sacrificed to third, and with Kemp at the plate, a pitch got away. Tony thought he could score, but Johnson ran it down, flew to Tim Stauffer, who made the tag, and that was that. So it's still 1-0 San Diego. Gwynn fouls off another pitch. Duck in a couple of scores. The Nationals shut out the Rockies 2-0. For Washington, their last 10 wins have come either by 1 run or in extra innings. And the Rockies, by the way, fall 5 games under 500. 1-2 the count to Tony Gwynn. Stauffer deals fouled away. Another final score. The Cardinals beat the Diamondbacks 4-2. After last night's bullpen collapse, the D-backs lost their second straight at St. Louis. David Freese, by the way, knocked in 3 of the 4 Cardinal runs. 1-2 the count to Tony Gwynn. He has a look at a pitch high. The Mets and the Giants tonight, that's Mike Pelfrey and Matt Cain. The Giants are assured of first place in the National League West at the All-Star break for the first time since 2003. The 2-2 pitch on the way just off the plate, ball 3. That 2003 Giant club finished first in the National League West by 15 games over second place Dodgers, but they lost to Florida, who eventually became the world champions. 3-2 pitch, sprayed foul outside of third down the line. So with his father watching every moment of this game, young Tony is up there 3-2. Gwynn for call and Ethier if anybody gets on Kemp. Stauffer worked his way out of a bases loaded jam in the second inning. Tim into the windup. 3-2 pitch is low, so he's going to have a rabbit aboard again. And Gwynn goes to first. You know, Tuesday, July 26th, Fernando Mania bobblehead night. The Dodgers and Rockies at 7:10. All fans receive a rookie El Toro. Compliments at Kaiser Permanente. For a ticket, visit Dodgers.com/promotions or call 866-DODGERS. So Gwynn, who stole a base, making it 12 out of 15 in the first inning, you figure he's going to try to go again. For call takes off the plate, ball 1. Raphael got the bunt down to advance Gwynn in the first inning. A 300 hitter who is struggling mightily coming off the DL. He takes the next pitch low. 2-0 the count to Raphael. For call was hitting 125 since being reinstated. He missed 63 games. That's like missing a good half of the year. So Raphael asking the plate umpire to take a look at the ball. With a 2-ball, no strike count, he had Gwynn at first, Andre Ethier on deck. Two balls and no strikes. The pitch to Furcal, that's off the plate. So in the second inning, Stauffer went 3-2 with Uribe and walked him. Fell behind 2-0 to Navarro, who doubled, walked Miles intentionally, and barely got by Lilly. And now he's behind if Furcal gets a strike. 3-1 the count. Padres lead 1-0. Home run by the catcher Rob Johnson. 1 run, 3 hits for the Padres. No runs, 2 hits for the Dodgers. Furcal waiting on a 3-1 pitch, and since they figure they'll go run and hit, they figure that Gwynn will be going. Furcal has only walked 4 times in about 96, 97 at bats. Gwynn does not go, and it's taken for ball 4. So Stauffer in trouble. First and second, nobody out. And the batter will be Andre Ethier. Today, there'll be a meeting at the Mount, so I have a chance to mention it. We're celebrating Jewish Heritage Day, and we had the amazing bottle dancers before the game, adding a touch of tradition and fun to weddings, bar and bat mitzvahs, and other celebrations throughout all of Southern California. And they put on quite a show before the Dodger dugout and before the game. The amazing bottle dancers. There was Fiddler on the Roof revisited, and a beautiful sight. 1-0 Padres. But the Dodgers 2 on, nobody out. Ethier, Campanelli trying to collect the rent here. And Stauffer, right foot on the rubber, looks down to get a sign. Andre takes off the plate. Ball 1. So Stauffer having a lot of trouble finding the strike zone. He has now walked 4. Light breeze blowing out to right field. Stauffer out of a stretch. 2 on, nobody out. Whirls to bluff Tony Gwynn back to the bag. Gwynn at second, for call at first. And Ethier at the plate. 1-0 San Diego. Stauffer at the belt. Looks back at Gwynn. Comes low and inside. Though he has lost the strike zone completely. 2 balls and no strikes. But Bud Black patiently watching his pitcher dig another deep hole. For Tim Stauffer, you just don't run on him, even though Gwynn stole second in the first inning. In his career going back to 2005, he's only allowed 4 stolen bases. So the Dodgers with a 2-0 count to Andre Ethier. Gwynn at second, for call at first. Stauffer at the belt. And the pitch, and that's high. That's what's making this a rare Stauffer performance. As we mentioned earlier, he has induced the opposition to hit into 12 double plays. He is a ground ball pitcher. And ground ball pitchers don't usually miss high and way inside, but that's what he's doing. 3-0 pitch is a check swing, ball 4, and he has walked the house. So Bud Black trying to contain himself, leading 1-0. A fellow who has pitched so well for him walks 3 to load him up for Matt Kemp, James Loney, and Juan Uribe. All right, Matt checks in. As far as grand slams, he has 6 of them, most recently at Cincinnati. So Matt with the bases loaded, nobody out. Stauffer with the infield back and double play depth into the windup and delivers, and the first pitch fouled away. Off to the right, way upstairs. No balls, 1 strike count. So Tim Stauffer up to his hips in trouble. Walked Gwynn, then he walked for call, then he walked Ethier. And now 0-1 to Matt Kemp. Stauffer into the windup. Strike 1 pitch is down and away. 1-1. Well, at least you would expect him to miss down and away, then high. In the bullpen, right-hander Anthony Bass begins to loosen up. For Matt Kemp, among other things, he leads the Dodgers in every other department. He's also grounded into 11 double plays. He takes a pitch low. 2-1. So now Stauffer, who is missing in every direction, perhaps over-connecting. And by correcting low, he's behind yet again. So with 5 walks, and it all started with 2 walks in the second inning and then 3 here in the third. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Matt Kemp. Fouled away. 2-2. 1 run, 3 hits for the Padres. No runs, 2 hits for the Dodgers. Well, the Padres sweating it out, of course. They've not been able to score at all. They can ill afford to have the Dodgers have a big inning here. So Matt up there with Piazza, Marshall, and Green with the grand slams. Piazza had a half a dozen. By the way, Sean Green was here today and threw out the first ball. And Sean sitting with Tommy Lasorda taken in the game. 2-2 fastball fouled away. Two balls and 2 strikes the count. Gwynn at third, for call at second. Ethier at first, nobody out, and a 2-2 count to Kemp. Stauffer ready, here he comes, slider away, ball 3. The outfield, as you can imagine, very deep. Cameron Maben shading Kemp just a hair towards right center. Maybe that's telling you sliders down and away. And here's the big pitch. 3-2 to Kemp. It is swung on, ground ball, backhanded by Headley, throws to the plate and throws it away. Not only does 1 run score, 2 runs score. Down to third goes Ethier, and Chase Headley made a bad decision. Chase Headley was maybe a couple of feet from third base. I think Chase could have gotten up and gotten an out at third. He tried to make a hurried throw, threw it away, and 2 runs score, and the Dodgers take a 2-1 lead. So Headley backhanding the ball, now gets up, and while on his right knee, tried to get it to the plate, and it went up along the first baseline. Johnson, the catcher, tried to reach for it and couldn't do it, and 2 runs come in. It's a fielder's choice for Matt Kemp. An RBI, an error charge to Headley, and the Dodgers are out in front. 2-1. Both Gwynn and Furcal bring it home. We'll have to tell the scoreboard. It is Dodgers 2, Padres 1, and the fastball is high to James Loney. Loney grounded out in the second inning. So base hit, run batted in, and the error charge to Headley. Dodgers with Kemp at first. Ethier is now at third. And here comes Stauffer, high and away. Ball 1. So it's been a very tough inning for him. His pitch count is piling up. 3 walks, then he got deep into the count with Kemp, 3-2. This will be his 25th pitch of the inning. And Loney swings and doesn't get it. Clocked at 89, up and in. 2-1 the count. Loney grounded out in the second inning. Nobody out. 3 walks, fielder's choice, which is converted into a base hit. And then the throwing error. 2-1 the count. There goes the runner from first. The throw on a hop is late. And the Dodgers have runners at second and third as Matt Kemp steals his 27th out of 30 attempts. So everything is crumbling around Tim Stauffer. All the walks, the infield single, and the throwing error. And then for a man whose reputation is tremendous about holding runners on, he has given up 2 stolen bases to boot. So the Dodgers leading 2-1 and trying to get some more. Nobody out. Loney, Uribe, and Navarro. And with first base open, the breaking ball, a hopper to first. The throw to the plate is in time to tag out Ethier. The original tag was missed, but Ethier couldn't get to the plate. And when he tried to come back to the plate, Johnson was able to get him. So Loney is aboard on the fielder's choice. Ethier is cut down 3-2. That was a nice play by Rizzo to throw accurately to Johnson. It was there in plenty of time. Ethier jumped away from the tag, but then couldn't get back. And Johnson cut him off at the pass. So that's still only 1 out. Over to third on the play at the plate goes Matt Kemp. So Loney at first, Kemp at third, and Juan Uribe will be coming up. Dodgers got 2 men out at the plate so far today. Tony Gwynn in the first inning, and now Ethier here in the third. Stauffer checking with his infield. Loney off the bag and Uribe waiting. Stauffer hands it his sides. Dodgers take the 2-1 lead here. And Uribe ground ball to short. The feed for 1. They will turn it for 2. So 2 things for Stauffer. That's a big weapon. 13th double play he's gotten. And for Uribe, 11th double play into which he was hit. It's 2-1 Dodgers. by El Pollo Loco. Now for only $5, get one of our 5 tasty combos. They're the combos other combos wish they could be. Catch them before they're gone. By Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And by Time Warner Cable. 4th inning, Dodgers take a 2-1 lead. Cameron Maybin, Orlando Hudson, Anthony Rizzo in that order coming up for the Padres. So Lilly, who gave up the home run to Johnson, is now out in front. 0-1 to Cameron Maybin. By the way, we would like to take a moment to congratulate a former Dodger who has retired after 17 years in the big leagues. And we're talking about infielder Juan Castro. A little foul. That'll carry back into the stands. 0-2. Juan, after 17 years, has been named to the position of special assistant, baseball operations, and player development. And he will be a very valuable asset to the Dodger organization. Juan, among his many accomplishments, and he was a magician with the glove, if you remember. He also started the Dodgers triple play most recently in the 90s. That was in Atlanta. So we're happy that he felt it was time to retire. He's married with 4 children, and we're even happier that he's staying in the Dodger organization. Juan Castro, great guy. 0-2 the count to Cameron Maybin, and then Orlando Hudson. And he waves at a pitch that fooled him, and down he goes. For Ted Lilly, that would be his 4th strikeout.
Second baseman, number 1,
and the batter, Orlando Hudson. If you just joined us, Lilly has allowed 3 hits, one of the 3 hits a home run, to account for the Padre run. Orlando singled up the middle in the 2nd inning. Off the plate, ball 1. 1-0 to the O-Dog. Orlando, you may remember, hit for the cycle for the Dodgers in April 2 years ago out of Darlington, South Carolina. He has done very well against so-called power pitchers, guys with a lot of strikeouts and walks. Not well against pitchers who are finesse, and he is certainly looking at a finesse pitcher in Ted Lilly. Orlando is an even 6, 185. 34 years old come December. He had 1 year with the Dodgers after a bunch with the Blue Jays, 3 with the Diamondbacks, last year with the Twins. And a strike. 2-2. Orlando a switch hitter, and in looking at his numbers, hitting .268 right, only .205 left. And a little foul out of play. Hudson, not particularly highly regarded. He was drafted by the Blue Jays in the 43rd round. 2-2. And another foul ball. When Orlando was just a little boy, he got his first baseball mitt, as he calls it, a Kmart special, and it came in an Easter basket full of candy. And would you believe it, he shoved the sweets aside. All he wanted was the glove. Down he goes. So Lilly now has struck out 5. And the batter will be Anthony Rizzo.
First baseman, number 27, Anthony Rizzo.
Anthony Rizzo struck out in the 2nd inning. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 3 hits for the Padres. Certainly a big difference between Stauffer and Lilly in this respect. Lilly has struck out 5. Stauffer has not struck out anybody. At the strike, 0-2. Well, they've been reconsidering. Remember the ground ball that Matt Kemp hit to Headley? Little fly ball let up Gwynn on his horse, but it's going to drop. So Rizzo pop fly single to left with 2 out, and Rob Johnson coming up. Anyway, it was a diving stop by Headley. On one knee, he tried to throw home. Take another look at it. Diving stop on the right knee, and the throw way offline, and 2 runs scored. First they said fielder's choice for Kemp. Then they said base hit for Kemp. Now they say no, fielder's choice. But he still gets a run batted in, and Headley still gets the error. All right. 2-1 Dodgers here in the 4th. One ball and no strikes. Rob Johnson homered in the 3rd inning. His 3rd home run of the year. He's hitting just 183. Nick Hundley would normally be doing the catcher. He's on the DL. Bad elbow. 1-0 the count. So while Hundley is out, certainly figures that Rob Johnson's going to see some play. He's from Anaconda, Montana. Went to the University of Houston. 2-0 with Rizzo at first, and that's ball 3. Well, you're hitting 8th. You're down 2-1. You've already homered against a pitcher. Is there a chance to swing 3-0 with 2 out? I would think so, if it's around the plate. And off speed on the outside corner. So it was not a pitch that he could have driven. So he'll check again now, 3-1. So will Rizzo at first. But again, a determining factor. Stauffer, the pitcher, on deck. Rizzo had a short lead. They'll go over there anyway. Johnson, as big as he is, has never hit more than 9 home runs, even in the low minors. 3-1. Rizzo not going, didn't figure, and there's ball 4. So Stauffer comes up, and he hit a bullet in the 3rd inning. And Juan Uribe made a wonderful catch to take an extra base hit away from him. So Tim Stauffer trying to help himself here. 2 on, 2 out, 2-1 Dodgers. Stauffer going into the game has had 4 runs batted in this year, half a dozen hits, all singles. Foul back. Oh, 0-1 the count to Stauffer. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 4 hits for the Padres. Rizzo at second, Johnson at first. On deck, the leadoff man, Chris Denorfia. Earlier this year, Stauffer injured his right hip. He was out for about a week and a half. 0-1. 0-2. Went right after him. 89-mile-an-hour fastball. Lilly retired the side in order in the 1st inning. but he's had to work hard the last couple. Pitch count is up to 74. 1-2. Dodgers 2, Padres 1. Top of the 4th inning. Slow curveball, and it was up. Big rainbow curve at 72 miles an hour. 2-2. Two to 1 Dodgers, 4th inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. Fastball got him. So Lilly winds up striking out the side. He has now struck out 6. Padres lead 2. They've left 5. And it's still 2-1 Dodgers. You buy Sit and Sleep. Save up to 50% with Sit and Sleep's independent sale. Sit and Sleep will beat anyone's advertised price, or your mattress is free. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Dodgers holding on to a 2-1 lead, bottom of the 4th inning, with Deanna Navarro, Aaron Miles, and then Ted Lilly. 2 runs, 2 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 4 hits for the Padres. Dodgers scoring their 2 runs in the 3rd inning on 3 walks, 2 fielders' choice, and an error. Navarro had that walk-off single, a flare into right center. Then it'll be Aaron Miles and Ted Lilly. And Stauffer trying to cut back on his pitches. He made 30 pitches in the 3rd inning, and he starts behind, 1 ball and no strikes. The Tim's fighting it. He has walked 5. 1-1. Interesting story about Tim Stauffer as Navarro calls time. Kind of an insight into what kind of a fella he was. In 2003, Padres wanted to sign him, and he held out all summer. And finally, during the lengthy holdout, he admitted during negotiations that he had a shoulder problem. Now, he certainly didn't have to admit it, but he did. 2-2. What he did by admitting that he had a shoulder problem, he took almost $2 million less in a signing bonus. Padres had offered him $2,600,000. He settled for $700,000. Sure, that's a lot of money, but it's almost $2 million that he said, no, I'm not really worth it. Boy, in this day and age, St. Tim, 2-2. Big chopper, Rizzo underhanding it to Stauffer. One away. Okay, even though it's a very relaxed Sunday afternoon, a little hot, yet you think Derek Jeter is the fourth ever with 3,000 hits, who is primarily a shortstop. Who are the others? Well, the answer forthcoming. 28 men. How fortunate were they to have 3,000 hits? That's right. What was almost shocking to think that with all the great Yankee players in the past, Jeter was the first one to have 3,000 hits. There was one little edge that Jeter had, however, on other great Yankees of the past. That is, he's playing a 162 game schedule. Normally 154. So how many years did Jeter? What's he played, like 17 years or something? So multiply 17 by 8. That's a lot of games. Rizzo to the bag, and we have 2 down. And by no means are we trying to minimize the feat of Derek Jeter. We're just trying to search for somewhat of an explanation why no other Yankee was able to do it. 8 times 7, 56. Carried it. It's 136 games. And that's a lot of games. That's almost a full year before expansion. And of course, the trump card for people like Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio, war. World War II, Korea, etc. But it's still a remarkable moment in the life of what we understand to be a wonderful player. 0-1 the count. Lilly at the plate, 2 out. Bottom of the 4th, 2-1 Dodgers. Padres and Dodgers tied 11 games behind the Giants, who play tonight. A drag bunt. Stauffer picks it, throws it, and we're done. So the Dodgers go quickly, 1, 2, 3. And at the end of 4, it remains Dodgers 2, Padres 1. Chris DeNorfia, Alberto Gonzalez, and then Chase Headley. Ted Lilly gave up the run. It was a home run to Rob Johnson leading off the inning. Otherwise, Lilly has struck out 6. He has walked 2. Nancy B. Heffley serenading us with wonderful songs from Fiddler on the Roof, Matchmaker, Matchmaker. Well, this is quite a match. Dodgers and Padres. Then we go to the 5th inning. DeNorfia, Gonzalez, and Headley. DeNorfia flied to right, singled to center, stole a base, but stayed there. Fouled away. 0-1. Two runs, only 2 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 4 hits for the Padres. 0-1. Showing bunt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Still on the subject of 3,000 hits, Tony Gwynn, who is broadcasting the game today, had 3,141 hits. And the opportunity to see his son play. Meanwhile, DeNorfia fly ball to right center. It's Kemp's. 1 away. Another fellow who played with the Padres, who picked up 3,000 hits along the way, Dave Winfield. Winfield wound up with 3,110 hits. Here's Gonzalez, flied to left, struck out, fouled away. Pete Rose, to refresh your memory, 4,256 hits. Ty Cobb had over 4,000 hits as well. The only 2. Ground ball to Furcall. And we have 2 out in the 5th inning. Chase Headley struck out and walked 0 for 1. Headley went 0-2 to strike out, went 3-2 to walk. Chase hitting .298. Oh and 1. I think that got a little bit of Diona Navarro. So the plate umpire will give Navarro a chance to get over that thump. So the hitter backs out. The umpire goes halfway out to the mound. All calculated to let a catcher catch his breath. Get rid of the cobwebs. 0-1. In the Dodger bullpen, Kenley Jansen begins to warm up. Now back. 84 pitches made by Ted Lilly. Lilly's pitch count, his last game, 85. Game before that, 81. He hasn't gotten 100 pitches in a game since the end of May. That's a strike. Headley is caught looking. 7 strikeouts for Ted Lilly. And at the end of 4.5 innings, it is still 2-1 Dodgers. and nursing a 2-1 lead through 5. Whether he will continue or not remains to be seen. Jansen is throwing in the pen. Dodgers will start with the top of the order. Gwynn, Furcal, and Ethier against Tim Stauffer. Gwynn, infield single and a walk, out at the plate and scored a run. No balls and 1 strike. And another strike. Padres trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. This is the end of their road trip. They've lost 6 out of 9, and they've been in every game. They're going to go home frustrated almost one way or another. And here they are today. Bud Black in another tough one, down 2-1. 2-2. Not only that, the All-Star break technically goes from the 11th through the 14th. Dodgers will come back on the 15th. San Diego, however, plays on Thursday. Ball 3. Stauffer, as usual, getting all of his outs on ground balls. High chopper. And Orlando making the play, 1 away. The only out that was not recorded on a ground ball was that play at the plate when Gwynn was tagged out. So he joined the Dodgers July 31st. They'll be facing the Diamondbacks at 1:10. All fans in attendance take home their very own Dodgers sports bag, compliments of United Airlines. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions or call 866-DODGERS. Ball 1 to Furcal. Sacrifice walked, scored a run on the error by Chase Headley. And hit in the air to right field. That's a rarity, but it's an out. So the first ball hit in the air for a putout. And with 2 down, Andre Ethier hit back to the box and walked. As we told you at the very start of the game, Stauffer is truly a ground ball pitcher. Just about 2-1 a ground ball to a fly ball. 2 runs, 2 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 4 hits for the Padres. Bottom of the 5th. Ball 1. Andre Ethier hit back to the box, walked, and he was cut down at the plate. One and 1. Andre batting .307. He has 7 home runs, 42 runs batted in, but he has been struggling. It happens to all of them, and I'm sure after you played about 90 games, you would welcome the rest, the All-Star break. Foul ball. That's in the air to deep right center. Going back on the ball is Maben. It is gone. Andre Ethier reaches the seats in deep right center, and the Dodgers have the comfort of a 2-1 lead turned into a 3-1 lead for Andre Ethier. It's been a while, but he hits it out. That would be his 8th home run, 43 runs batted in. For Tim Stauffer, got the ball down, and Ethier just went down to get it. Stauffer has only allowed 8 home runs. The last home run that Ethier hit was against Detroit when the Tigers were here. That'd be the 21st of June. Meanwhile, a strike to Matt Kemp. So Ethier hits his 8th. Stauffer gives up his 8th, and the Dodgers lead 3-1. That's a strike, so Matt Kemp in a hole now. 0-2. When the Padres come up in the 6th inning, they'll have Ludwig, Maben, and Hudson. Now Kenley Jansen is still up in the Dodger bullpen. That'll do it for Matt Kemp. Stauffer picks up a strikeout, but Ethier picks up a home run. And at the end of 5, 3-1 Dodgers. All-Star game ever, and it was in the Polo Grounds in New York. First inning, a couple of men got on base for the American League. Carl Hubbell of the Giants was the starting pitcher. All he did with 2 on and nobody out was strike out Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and Jimmy Fox. Second inning, he was still on a strikeout tear, and he struck out Joe Cronin and finally put the 5th man away before there was a base hit by Bill Dickey to break the streak. One of the great moments in All-Star history as Carl Hubbell struck out 5 consecutive soon-to-be Hall of Famers. Well, we'll get back to this one. Kenley Jansen picks up for Ted Lilly. So Lilly went 5, made 85 pitches, wound up allowing just 1 run, 4 hits. The only run, the home run by Rob Johnson. Kenley Jansen trying to hold on to this 3-1 lead. Ludwig has fly to center, hit into a force play, 0 for 2. The big gun with 11 home runs, 55 RBIs, but has been completely shut down during this series. One and 2. Ted Lilly trying to win his 6th, trying to snap a 4-game losing streak, and trying to set his record 8-3 against the Padres. And the ball right now in Kenley Jansen's hand. Strike 3 call. So Ludwig strikes out. That would be the 8th Padre to go down on strike. 7 at the hands of Lilly.
Batting next, center field, number 24, Cameron Maben.
Kenley Jansen now going head to head with Maben, who has grounded to third, struck out 0-4-2. And a strike, 0-1. Maben has had just one at bat in the past against Kenley Jansen. He made the most of it. He hit a home run. 1-for-1. Check swing. They're going to look. Swing, says Chad Fairchild. 0-2 to Cameron Maben. Cameron hitting .261. 5 home runs, 21 runs batted in. And popped up. Coming over is Navarro. Coming in and under is Loney. And just like that, 2 down in the 6th inning. The Padres, since the home run from Johnson, have had a single by DeNorfia and a single by Rizzo. 2 down in Orlando Hudson, who will turn around to bat left-handed, and that's certainly not his favorite side. Hudson hitting .268 right-handed, but only .205 from this side of the plate. Ground foul. You know, we were talking about this day in baseball. In 1984, which was the 50th anniversary of Carl Hubbell's great strikeout streak, Fernando Valenzuela and Dwight Gooden combined to strike 6 batters in a row for a new All-Star record. Fernando struck out Dave Winfield, Reggie Jackson, and George Brett, and then Gooden, the youngest All-Star ever at 19, struck out Lance Parrish, Chet Lemon, and Alvin Davis. And at the other end of the game, back in 1953 on this day, the Dodgers set a National League record by hitting a home run in their 24th straight game. And down goes Hudson. So Jansen strikes out 2. Padres go very quietly, and at the end at 5.5, 3-1 Dodgers. Loaded, nobody out. Matt Kemp hit a scorcher. A great diving stop by Headley, who tried to throw to the plate and threw it away. It was a fielder's choice, an error charge for Headley. 2 runs came in. Dodgers went on now to lead 3-1. Headley with the bat has struck out twice and won. Now it's Loney, Uribe, and Navarro. Line foul. By the way, it's kind of interesting. We're talking about 1953 and the Dodgers homered in their 24th straight game. Today, Andre Ethier homered, and the Dodgers had gone 10 games without a home run. That would be their longest drought since 1992. And when Ethier hit the home run, to be exact, it was the first Dodger home run in 404 plate appearances. In direct contrast. Of course, as you can imagine, the 1953 won the pennant, then lost to the Yankees in the World Series. The 1992 team, I believe, lost 99 games. Big difference. Oh, and 2. And a hopper speared by Rizzo. He spots Stauffer. And we have one away here in the 6th inning. Okay, remember the trivia question? We are talking about Derek Jeter getting 3,000 hits. The 4th ever who was primarily a shortstop. Who are the others? Honus Wagner, Cal Ripken, and Robin Yount. Honus Wagner had 3,415 hits. Robin Yount had 3,142 hits. Off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes to Juan Uribe. Cal Ripken had 3,184 hits. That's a strike. Uribe walked on a full count in the 2nd inning, grounded into a double play in the 3rd. 2-1. Popped up around the plate. Rob Johnson. The Uribe pops it up, and we have 2 out in the 6th inning. And the batter, Deanna Navarro. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Matt Guerrier threw a couple of pitches. He is stopped. What the Dodgers will do, those not involved in the All-Star game, they'll be off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, they'll fly over to Arizona and work out on Thursday before opening up the road trip with the D-backs. So the Dodgers playing a struggling Padre team, but that will change on the road trip. They'll play Arizona and then San Francisco. Fouled away. The next Dodger homestand will begin on July 22nd, and it will be Washington, Colorado for 3, and Arizona for 3. And then we're into August. 2-1 the count to Navarro. Tim Stauffer is due to bat 3rd in the 7th inning, so this looks like it might be his last inning. Luke Gregerson is throwing in the Padre bullpen. A little soft line drive for the out. It wasn't hit hard. So down go the Dodgers, and at the end of 6, it's 3-1 Dodgers. 3-1 lead. Anthony Rizzo, followed by Rob Johnson, and then probably a hitter for Tim Stauffer to face Kenley Jansen. Anthony Rizzo struck out and singled. The strikeout has been part of his problem. He doesn't really have enough at-bats to qualify, but his rate of swinging at missing is the highest in the National League. When he swings, he misses about 37-38% of the time. A fellow like Matt Kemp, 27%. Mike Stanton is the big swing and miss man. The young hitter swings and misses at least 35% of the time. So let's see what Rizzo does now against Kenley Jansen. Check swing and swing, says Angel Campos. 0-1 to Anthony. 6'3", 220. And another strike, so he's in a hole 0-2. Last year with Portland, he struck out 100 times. He's at it again. So that's his big problem, trying to grow into a major league hitter. It's also the third strikeout for Kenley Jansen, and it'll bring up Rob Johnson, who hit his third home run of the year in the third inning against Ted Lilly. Fastball up and out over the plate, and Rob knew what to do with it. At the time, it gave the Padres a 1-0 lead, and then in the bottom of the third, the Dodgers scored twice, and then had their home run by Andre Ethier to make it 3-1. On deck, Kyle Phillips. 1 ball and no strikes. Kyle Phillips, the brother of Jason Phillips, who had a good career in the big leagues. Kyle from La Mesa, lives in El Cajon. Off the plate, 2-0. In the Padre bullpen, Ernesto Frieri begins to warm up, and in the Dodger pen, Hung-Chi Kuo. And ball 3. One away, 7th inning, bases empty. In there, 3-1. Foul back, 3-2. Full count. And ball 4. So the Padres get a look now with a runner at first. The pinch hitter, Kyle Phillips, coming up. Here's what happened with the starting pitcher. Stauffer has made 109 and is just now coming out. Lilly made 85. That big throwing error by Chase Headley brought in a couple. So Lilly allowed just the home run. And Ted in line for a win, and Stauffer getting 5s in the dugout. Another wonderful game. Remember, he came in the last 6 starts. His earned run average was 1.2, and he has a average going into this game 2.9, and he's still only 5-5. So Tim Stauffer has really been a tough luck pitcher indeed. Now coming up to hit is Kyle Phillips, and we'll see with Phillips ready to come in. He's a left-hand hitter, and the Dodgers have Hung-Chi Kuo in the pen. So we'll wait and see. Number 1, yep, they're going to Hung-Chi Kuo. Now we'll remain and wait to see whether they stay with Phillips, and as Jansen leaves, we'll be back. announced as the pinch hitter for Tim Stauffer. So then Don Mattingly brought in the left-hander Hung-Chi Kuo. Bud Black immediately countered with the right-hand hitting Jesus Guzman to bat for Phillips, who has been used up. So Hung-Chi Kuo has to get some outs. Jansen made 20 pitches in relief of Ted Lilly. Jesus Guzman coming up is from Venezuela, from Sucre, Venezuela. That might mean sugar. He was originally signed as a free agent by the Mariners, then signed again as a free agent 8 years later by the Giants. He appeared with the Giants in 12 games 2 years ago. He'd been in Fresno and just come up with the Padres this year. And fastball lifted to right center, very playable. It's coming to Ethier. Room service fly ball, and just like that, 2 down.
Now batting right fielder, number 13.
And the batter now, Chris Denorfia. Guzman, not so sugarish right then. Denorfia flied to right, single to center, fly to center. And now Mattingly is going back out. Denorfia, right-hand batter. He's had Matt Guerrier in the pen, so he assumed that Kuo was brought in just to pitch to Phillips and/or Guzman. And we watch Mattingly, and he's going to the pen. The Guerrier was throwing down there, and Matt's coming in, so we'll be back. Of Ted Lilly trying to hold on to a 3-1 lead, and Guerrier is getting ready now to go head-to-head with Denorfia. So Hung-Chi Kuo warmed up in the bullpen and came in to make one pitch to Jesus Guzman. So you talk about instant relief, that falls into that category. And now Guerrier trying to get Denorfia. Chris is 1-for-3. The catcher, Rob Johnson, at first. Denorfia is one of these fellows who likes to hit early in the count, especially if it's in there. He'll go after the first pitch most of the time. He has 5 home runs. Way off, ball 1. One thing about Denorfia, from the 7th through the 9th inning, he has been a tower of strength, hitting well over 400 for the Padres. That number, however, is probably going up against the starting pitcher, so he's seen him a couple of times. 2-0 the count. And a strike. Denorfia is high home runs for the Padres. He hit 9 last year, and he has 5 right now. 31 from Bristol, Connecticut. In fact, his birthday will be on the 15th, right after the All-Star break. Chris Denorfia from Bristol, Connecticut. Southington, Connecticut, where he lives now, and originally drafted by the Reds. He went to Wheaton College in Massachusetts. Ball 3. On deck, shortstop Alberto Gonzalez. Three and 2. That means Johnson goes from first. Loney will not hold him. Johnson goes, fouled away. When the All-Star break comes to a conclusion, Don Mattingly was talking about his rotation, and he said the second half rotation will be Kershaw, followed by Kuroda, followed by Lilly, then Billingsley and De La Rosa. Runner goes, fouled away. Denorfia, coming into the game, has had about 240 plate appearances, and he has struck out 30 times. So pretty much of a contact hitter. 3 and 2. Foul back. So Johnson getting his wind sprints in each time, breaking on a 3 and 2 count, and the catcher slowly walking back. Of course, that'll shake out the wrinkles from being in a crouch all day. Three and 2, and Rob is at the ready. There he goes. Foul ball. So Rob Johnson breaking on every pitch. A little weary now. 7th inning after a long day behind the plate. Chris Denorfia, who wears number 13. This at bat, this is a 10th pitch at bat. There goes Johnson, and a fly ball to right field. Fighting the sun is Ethier. That'll be that. No runs, no hits, a man left, and at the end of 6.5 innings, Dodgers 3, Padres 1. Bottom of the 7th inning. Ernesto Frieri will pick up the pitching for San Diego. The Dodgers will have Aaron Miles, followed by Trent Olgen to bat for Guerrier, and then Tony Gwynn. Ernesto Frieri is from Arjona, Colombia. He said much of the credit for becoming a major league pitcher should go to his grandmother. Frieri, from 12 until he was 16, would arise each morning in the little village in Bolivar, Colombia, spend about 2 hours turning the crank on the machine that ground the corn for his grandmother's tamale business. As he said, she made somewhere between 200 and 300 tamales every morning, and I ground all the corn. That's a lot of corn. So what happened is his right shoulder got stronger every day for cranking the corn. Then he'd help her sell them, about 10 cents each per tamale. Fouled away, 0-1. Aaron Miles has walked and grounded out, 0 for 1. Miles, Olchen, and then Gwynn. That's a strike. Frieri, 6'2", 190, will be 26 in the 19th of July. Been with the Padres since 2003. And before that, grinding corn at the knuckles. Basically, fastball that's been clocked at 94. Very good slider, they say. Big looping curveball. And a quality changeup. Left-handers hit 176 against him last year. Way off the plate. Frieri comes in 1-2. Good ERA of 3. 20 walks, 52 strikeouts. Two balls and 2 strikes. And that's fouled away. Aaron Miles hitting .315, 1 home run, 23 runs batted in. Two balls, 2 strikes. On the hands and pulled fair. And now the ball hits and comes back, which means Miles into second base easily. That was a pretty good pitch, and Miles was able to turn on it and pull it to right field. So the Dodgers now get the leadoff man to double, and Trent Olgen will be coming up. So Aaron Miles continues to make his contribution.
Trent Olgen.
And the batter will be Trent Olgen. Dodgers have only 4 hits. They had a single by Gwynn, a double by Navarro, a home run by Ethier, and now this double by Miles. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Mike McDougal begins to warm up as Olchen hits for Guerrier. Olchen hitting .273. He has a home run, 4 runs batted in. Scored the winning run as a pinch runner Friday night. Ernesto Frieri. He's just the 9th player from Colombia and the 2nd pitcher to ever reach the major leagues. And the bunt fouled away, and that got the foot of Rob Johnson a little bit. 0-1. Olchen checking again for Tim Wallach. Padres have only gotten 1 man on that on a walk in the last 3 innings. So the Dodgers just trying to add to their comfortable 3-1 lead. 0-1. And a strike. They throw through. Got him. Aaron Miles picked off second base. What a great throw by Rob Johnson. Boy, you talk about accuracy. Watch this throw. You can see where Miles is because of the bunt, and got him easily. Perfect throw. So 1-6 the count. And Miles is out, and it's 0-2 on Olchen. Great play by Rob Johnson. Usually you're going to see a runner picked off like that in a bunt situation. Always trying to cheat, take the extra step. 1-2. Starting pitchers, Ted Lilly went 5, allowed 1 run. Tim Stauffer went 6 and was the victim of an overthrow. He was charged with 2 earned runs plus a 3rd unearned. So it's been another pitching duel. And down goes Olchen. So 2 out. Dodgers, prior to the double, had 1 hit. That was the home run by Andre Ethier since the 2nd inning. So yesterday the Dodgers were no-hitted going into the bottom of the 9th and magically pulled it out. And they haven't done a thing with the bat really today. 3 walks in the 3rd inning. All of a sudden the strike zone got away from Tim Stauffer. Dodgers took advantage of that lapse, and they're leading 3-1 here in the 7th. 1-0 the count to Gwynn. Had an infield single, stole a base, was out trying to come home when a pitch got away at the plate. Walked, came around to score in the 3rd, and grounded out last time. Fly ball to right, DeNorfie at the other end of it. So a nice inning for the grinder of the corn, Ernesto Frieri, and a great throw by the catcher Rob Johnson. Still 3-1 Dodgers. The 8th inning for the Dodgers. It's been Lilly for 5, then Jansen, then Quo 1 pitch, then Guerrier, and now Mike McDougall, all trying to hold on to this 3-1 lead. For the Padres, it will be Alberto Gonzalez, followed by Chase Headley, and then Ryan Ludwig. So Mike McDougall now charged with the responsibility. The Dodgers 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors. Padres 1 run, 4 hits, and 1 big error. And McDougall now just about ready. Alberto Gonzalez is 0 for 3. Gonzalez a last-minute replacement. Bartlett, the normal shortstop, came up with a sore right thumb, and so Gonzalez pressed into service. He's only hitting .209. Bartlett was hitting .238. And ball one. Jason Bartlett sitting in the dugout. Just can't play. 1-0 the count to Gonzalez. Two fastballs, both low, both at 95, and a 2-ball, no strike count. And a strike. Alberto Gonzalez from Maracaibo in Venezuela, originally with the Diamondbacks, wound up with the Yankees in '07 and was eventually traded in a deal that sent Randy Johnson to Arizona. 2-2. He had .247 last year for the Nationals. Two and two. Ground foul. Mike McDougall, 6'3" and about 190, and a veteran at 34, originally out of Wake Forest University, signed by the Royals, had a long career with the Royals and the White Sox, then came over to the National League to the Nationals, and he goes 3-2 to Alberto Gonzalez. Padres with one hit since the third inning, and that one hit was a little flare to left field for a base hit for Anthony Rizzo. That's lifted to right. Again, Ethier fighting the sun. One away. And the batter will be Hendrick. Say you're going to hit the road, you can take the Dodgers with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today. See every Dodger game live or on demand on your computer and favorite devices. Visit Dodgers.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Chase Headley, switch hitter, turning around now to hit left-handed, fouled away. Headley struck out twice and walked, so Ted Lilly really cooled him off. Headley coming in had been hitting .313 against Lilly, but not today. For Chase, hitting .364 right-handed. He's hitting .277 from this side of the plate. Put that all together, and he's batting .297. 1-1. And that's smoked into right center. Kemp on the dead run. That one is going to bounce against the wall. On the run into second base, Headley with a double. So Chase Headley hits one to the gap and short hops the wall. That would be his 25th double. Headley doubled in the fourth inning of game one. Though able to extend the arms, you can see his power with that swing. So a one-out double, and Ryan Ludwig coming up. If the Padres do anything offensively, you would expect Ryan Ludwig would be leading the way. And the Dodgers have really kept him down right up to now. Strike. Ludwig had that incredible year for the Cardinals in 2008. He's never come close. He had 37 home runs and 113 runs batted in that year. 0-1. One ball and one strike. Well, Mike McDougall, who has surrendered just one home run in 30 innings. He has Headley at second, one out in the eighth. Ryan Ludwig, born in Satellite Beach, Florida, lives over in Las Vegas. He went to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. 1-1. Ball 2-1. Ryan had a brother, Eric, who was a major league pitcher briefly for the Marlins. Ryan is one of those interesting fellas who bats right-handed, throws left, and has 115 home runs in that rare category. Ricky Henderson the most, 297. Jimmy Ryan 118, then Ryan Ludwig. 3-1 the count to Ludwig. Fouled away. When the Padres came in here, they were last in the league in home runs with 47. They were also first in the league in strikeouts, and they were at the bottom in hitting. Well, they've been struggling. They did get the home run today by Rob Johnson to give them 48. Three and two. Fouled away. When Ludwig had that big year back in 2008, he joined people like Hideki Matsui and Lefty O'Doul to put up his numbers at 30 years of age. Well, McDougal trying to get him. 3-2. And down he goes. So Ludwig, having yet another tough game, strikes out twice, goes 0 for 4. And with 2 out and a runner at second on that breaking ball in the dirt that would have been certainly ball 4, Cameron Maben coming up. Cameron Maben grounded to third, struck out, fouled out, 0 for 3. So the Padres, who had scored 1 run in 35 innings and had all those blanks coming in, are still struggling. Ball 1. They scored a run in the 3rd inning, so that was their first run that they had scored in 21 innings. With the 1 run in 7 innings today, they've scored 2 runs in 42 innings. That's a strike. 1-1. Runners in scoring position. Well, they haven't had many. They were 0 for 20 coming into this game. They've had a couple of opportunities. They left Denorfia at second in the 3rd inning. They left Rizzo at second in the 4th inning. And the question before the House, will they lead Headley at second in the 8th? The runners in scoring position, they are 0 for 23 to be exact. 1-1. And a ground ball to Furcal. Tricky hop, but he gets him. So another opportunity down the drain for the Padres. No runs, a hit, a man left. Tough times for Bud Black indeed, and it's 3-1 Dodgers. inning without benefit of a hit, and they had a home run by Andre Ethier in the 5th inning. For the Padres, their only run was a home run by Rob Johnson. So now the left-hander Josh Spence coming out of the Padre bullpen. He's out of Geelong, Australia. Good night, Mike. Now, they should have timed him up, but he's an inning late. Otherwise, he could have faced Trent Olchen from Australia. Trent went down swinging in the 7th inning. Spence makes his home in Victoria, Australia. Went to school at Arizona State. 9th round pick by the Padres. And he was picked for last year's season. He was at Fort Wayne, Eugene, Peoria. Started this year at San Antonio. And here he is. You talk about making it to the big leagues in a hurry. Originally a 25th round pick of the Diamondbacks, but went to Arizona State. Surrenders a long fly ball to Furcal. On the track to make the catch is Ryan Ludwig. So Furcal out, 1 away. Andre Ethier hit back to the box in the 1st inning. He walked and was out at the plate in the 3rd, and then in the 5th inning. 2 out, bases empty, and Andre got a breaking ball almost in the dirt and hit it into the seat. That's remarkable contact, which was a good pitch by Stauffer, you would think, but he hit it out for his 8th home run. Pulled foul to look ahead for the Padres in the 9th inning. They are due to send up Orlando Hudson, Anthony Rizzo, and the catcher Rob Johnson. Down in the pen, Javi Guerra is warming up. And remember, they used both Guzman and Phillips. Ethier, another towering drive to right center, and this one is gone. He's hit 2. Josh Spence gets up his first home run of the year. Welcome to the big leagues for the young fella from Australia. And they both went to Arizona State, so it was a bit of an alumni meeting here. And it was Ethier hitting it out, his 2nd home run. Now that looked more like a home run pitch to hit than the one he hit off Stauffer. He'll take both. 9 home runs for Andre. Chad Qualls is going to be brought in, so they brought Spence in particularly for Ethier, and it didn't work. And we'll be back. Pitching, hits his 2nd home run of the game against a left-hander, Josh Spence. His last home run against a left-hander was in August last year against Randy Wolf. It's his first multi-home run game since the first week in May of last year. So it's a big day for Ethier, getting ready for the All-Star game. Dodgers now have somewhat of a comfortable 4-1 lead. And Chad Qualls, a big boy out of Lomita. Chad will be 33 in August. Went to school at the University of Nevada. Second-round pick by the Astros. He's been very good. Of the 20 inherited runners, he has allowed only 5 to score. Chad grew up a Dodger fan. Dad took him to a lot of games here. 1-1. Interestingly enough, as a pitcher and a Dodger fan, his favorite player was Will Clark. Matt Kemp grounded out, reached on a fielder's choice and error, and struck out. Matt averaged a .314, a long fly ball, Maben on the track. So in the inning, Furcal sent Ludwig to the track. Ethier hits a home run. Kemp sends Maben to the track. So a couple of long fly balls. And James Loney coming up. Loney is 0 for 3. Chad Qualls went to Los Angeles Harbor Junior College, then transferred to Nevada. Meanwhile, James Loney 0 for 3. And sliced foul. For the Padres in the 9th inning, down by 3. Hudson, Rizzo, and Johnson, and they've used Guzman and Phillips. Their number 1 pinch hitter, Denorfia, started the game. Ground ball backhanded by Headley. The long throw on the money. Nice play by Chase. Down go the Dodgers, but not before Andre Ethier checks in with his second home run of the day, and the Dodgers lead 4-1. The 9th inning, the Dodgers holding on to what is now a 4-1 lead. The Padres flailing away have scored 1, and in the 9th inning, Hudson, Rizzo, and Johnson are due up. And you figure if anybody gets on, you'd see the left-hand hitting Will Venable. for Bud Black, suffering the home runs of Andre Ethier. He's hit 2, and also the throwing error by Chase Headley. He was Bud Black when the series started. He turned to Bud Gray, I'm sure, yesterday, or certainly when they lost the no-hitter. And today, if they don't do anything, he'll be Bud White. And he'll go back home to San Diego for a well-deserved rest. Javi Guerra will now try to size things up and seal it for good. He's 3 for 3 in save opportunities. Picked up his first win against the Reds in June. Orlando Hudson struggling as a left-hand hitter, trying to stay above 200 from this side of the plate. Singled against Lilly, but he has struck out twice since. And a strike. You remember, Guerra certainly gave people a thrill Friday night when Maben doubled and then he hit Rizzo and Johnson. And with the bases loaded, nobody out, he struck out Phillips and Venable and got Bartlett on a fly ball to win the game. Little foul. Javi Guerra is from Denton, Texas. He had Tommy John surgery in 2005, and he can still light up that gun. Just another player who has enjoyed a big league career thanks to the wizardry of Dr. Frank Joe. 1-2 the count to the O-Dog. Javi Guerra is an even 6, 205-pounder, 25 years old. He'd be 26 the end of October. Dodgers bullpen had a half a dozen saves, and they were all going to a different pitcher. And then Javi Guerra came along to really pick up, because the Dodgers had Padilla pick up 3, Jansen, Guerrier, McDougal just 1. Javi's now the closer. He's allowed 1 run over the last 10 appearances. 2-2 to Orlando Hudson. You would think it's certainly asking a lot for a Padre team that had scored no runs in the last 20 innings coming into this game. That's pop foul, coming over for a look, and that's all as Uribe. But to ask the Padres to come up with 3 in the 9th inning, the odds certainly against it, but you never know. Orlando hitting .227, 1 home run, 14 runs batted in. Ground ball wide in the hole and through. So Orlando Hudson goes the other way, singles to left. He winds up going 2 for 4. And that'll bring up Anthony Rizzo, the first baseman. Anthony Rizzo struck out, single to left, struck out again. He has a lot of problems making contact, but he's still a rather imposing figure as he stands at the plate. 6'3", 220. Ball 1. Originally signed by the Red Sox. Anthony's father was a pro wrestler at one time. And ball 2. Rizzo came in the deal with the Red Sox that sent Adrian Gonzalez to Boston. That's right. 2-1. And ball 3. Hudson down by 3. He's not going to gamble at first. Ninth inning, 4-1 Dodgers. Nothing easy for either Mattingly or Black. They came into the game tied 11 games back of the Giants, and the loser winds up in last place at the All-Star break. One of the problems with a hitter like Rizzo, even if you wanted to put a play on, he's a bad risk as far as making contact. 3-2. And he walks. So the Padres putting little building blocks together. A base hit for Hudson, a walk to Rizzo, and Guerra looks like he would certainly like to avoid the mess he got into in the 9th inning Friday night. So would Mattingly. So now Rob Johnson, the catcher, will be coming up, and to no one's surprise, Will Venable will be out on deck. Rob Johnson hit a home run in the 3rd inning. He also walked twice today and made a big play, even bigger perhaps as the game progresses, in the 7th inning when Aaron Miles doubled, was trying to take an extra step on a bunt situation, and Rob hung him out to dry. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Blake Hawksworth is warming up, and Hiroki Kuroda is down there. So we're not sure whether he's just thrown on the side, getting in some work, or is he like Hawksworth backing up Guerra? Well, here's Johnson, 1-4-1. Strike. Rob just hitting 183. 2 on, so he represents the possible tying run at the plate. Off the plate, 1-1. Rob Johnson, big boy out of Montana. 1 ball, 1 strike. And popped it up. Out Miles, in Ethier. Ethier has the easier play. So Johnson, a little fly ball, 1 away. And the batter now will be Will Venable.
Your attention, please, for the Padres, pinch hitting, number 25, Will Venable.
So Venable will be batting for Qualls. 2 on, 1 out. Will Venable, his dad, had a great career in the major leagues. Max played 12 years. Giants, Expos, and Reds. Will hitting .244, 2 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Guerra off the rubber. Venable as a pinch hitter is 1 for 11. Missed the play. Ball 1, 1-0. Will out of Greenbrae, California, went to school at Princeton. 7th round pick 6 years ago, and he has Hudson at second, Rizzo at first, 1 out. And a strike. Good fastball. Hit 96. 1-1. For Venable, started the year very slowly, and the last 12 games hitting .320. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-2. So Guerra, who throws hard, that was 94. Javi has 12 strikeouts and 5 walks. 1-2 to Venable. Two and 2. Venable has to have great athletic genes. His dad played in the majors for 12 years. His mom played college basketball at Dominican University. 2-2 to Will. Fouled away. Venable hit .245 for the Padres last year, and he's hitting .244 this year. Last year he had 13 home runs. That's a big league high for him. This year, 2. 1 out, 2 on. 2 ball, 2 strike count. And ball 3. Waiting on deck is the leadoff man, Chris DeNorfia. Full count, 1 out. Runners hold, and it is strike 3 called on the outside corner. So the Padres are down to their last out. Corey Blazer, the plate umpire, rings up Venable. Guerra picks up a strikeout. And now DeNorfia, fly to right, single to center, fly to center, fly to right. 1 for 4. Hit the ball in the air every time. More of a home run threat, certainly, than Johnson or Venable. DeNorfia has 5 home runs, 15 runs batted in. 2 out in the 9th, 4-1 Dodgers. 1-1. For Guerra, he's young, throws hard, but he also makes a lot of pitches. This will be his 27th pitch in the inning. Ball 2. Most pitches in the inning today. Tim Stauffer, in that wild 3rd inning when he walked 3 in a row, Tim made 30 pitches in that inning. And popped up. This ought to be it. It's Loney just inside the line. That'll do it. So the Padres get 1 run, and that's not nearly enough. For the Dodgers, 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors, 2 home runs by Ethier to lead the way. San Diego, 1 run, 6 hits, and 1 error. And the starters are involved in the decision. The winner would be Lilly to snap a 4-game losing streak. Ted is now 6-9. He is also 8-3 lifetime against the Padres. The Dodgers have now beaten the Padres 6 out of 9. Tim Stauffer, the hard luck loser, goes under the 500 mark. Tim is 5-6. He had a 3-game winning streak snapped today at the hands of Lilly and the Dodgers. So that'll be that. We have the All-Star break. We have 3 Dodgers actively in it with Kemp, Kershaw, and Ethier. Play will begin again for the Dodgers on the 15th. It'll be prime ticket on the 15th of July in Arizona. Till then, we remind you, stay tuned for Dodgers Live coming up next. Good afternoon, everybody.